So hi everyone, it's Adela again, co-founder of Boss Women, and today I have the lovely Tina with us from Travel Counsellors. So Tina, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yep. Hi. Thanks for having me on. I think first of all to say that I am married. I've got two grown-up children, and I love travel. That's it in a nutshell. I went on a school cruise when I was 14, a long time ago now, and I've been bitten by the travel bug ever since. When I left school, I wanted to work for an airline. But I had to work for a couple of years in a bank first, and then I went to work for British Airways. And I was there for 13 years, and I just loved the airport environment. I then went on to work in the NHS when my children were small, in risk and governance. But when my children grew up, I got the opportunity to do something that I wanted to do. And I just found Travel Counsellors, and I don't know if you believe in fate, but I definitely do. I found Travel Counsellors, and I knew that I wanted to work with them. And it's my own business, but within the Travel Counsellors franchise. And I feel as though I've got the best of both worlds because it's my own business. I set my hours. I decide how long I want to work each day, or even if I want to work each day. But I've got the backing of a wonderful company, and they have been, this last year, they've really proven themselves. So I've got the backing and all the back office support and technology taken care of. So all I need to do is think about holidays. What could be better?
Excellent. And now you're my kind of talking, that is holidays. I love holidays,
Yep.
Tina. I love them.
Yeah.
And it's really inspirational because of from your background as well. Like you've always wanted to do kind of travel, and you've got the travel bug. And how on earth, as a 14-year-old, which school did you go to where they took you on a cruise to the Med? Like, wish I was at that school.
Well, I have to say, my brother and sister went to a different school, and they didn't get the opportunity. And I know my parents at the time, working class family, it was a lot of money. But a 14-day Med cruise. Now, don't think it was the sort of cruise where it was all sort of cabins with balconies and things like that. It was 21 of us in a dorm below the sea line, so we couldn't look out the windows or anything. But we flew to Italy and then cruised around the Med, and it was just an amazing experience. And yeah, like I say, it completely bitten by the travel bug, and stayed with me all these years later.
Yeah, at 14, I mean, that's absolutely amazing as well. So, it's good. It's good. I kind of say that it's a good way to experience life. We can sit in school, do geography, do history, which is fantastic. But the best way to learn about these things is to actually travel
I agree.
because,
Yeah,
absolutely, you learn so much more. So oh my gosh, that's just amazing. And then so you worked for British Airways as well, and then you did like the whole NHS. Was that just kind of balanced because you had young children at the time then? That move from airline to that?
Yeah. Working for the NHS, it was local, and it was convenient, and I felt good working for the NHS. I enjoyed it for most of the time I was there, but I was there for 20 years altogether. And at the time I decided to leave to become a travel counsellor, my youngest child had just become financially independent. So, all of a sudden it was more about what I wanted to do rather than what fitted in with school pickup and drop off or college and that sort of thing. So so I didn't fall into becoming a travel counsellor. It was a conscious decision. I had spent 2 years looking for the right place to go before I left to become a TC. If I could say there's a downside to being a travel counsellor, is that the holidays I create for other people so many of them I look at and think, oh, I'd quite like to do that. So my bucket list just gets longer. We're ticking them off, but they just get long. It just gets longer.
Longer, yeah. I mean, I would be the same. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really good that you feel. I mean, and it's good for like other women that are going to be listening to this as well, to who have either started a business or even just thinking about it, and like moms as well. People, women who have got a business and are moms, and they're thinking, "Gosh, right, should I actually do that change or not?" And it's really good and inspirational to hear that you've actually done that, but you did it at a time when your children were independent, financially independent. And you thought, well, it's now my time. Brilliant. So when did you actually, or what actually made you and inspired you to start the business, apart from kind of waiting until your children were independent, financially independent? Were you just thinking that you needed a bit more than working elsewhere, and did you want to be a bit more independent?
If I'm honest, Adela, it hadn't occurred to me to start a business. I had applied to go back to an airline about 3 years previous, and they didn't want me this time round, and I felt a bit sort of like, oh, but there you are. That's just the way it is. So travel was definitely the theme, and it was when I found Travel Counsellors. My neighbour had actually booked a holiday with a travel counsellor. Now, what made me say to her, have you got the person's business card? I'm not sure. But when I looked at Travel Counsellors, I thought, you know what? I'd like to do that. So it wasn't actually a conscious decision to start a business. But having said that, it does give you the opportunity to create a work-life balance, despite the fact that I think a lot of employers these days say that they are family friendly and you can work flexible hours. A lot of them are actually not terribly flexible. And so this really is a business where you can do what you want when you want. Now, sometimes it is led by the fact that you have to work when the work is there. So if you do have commitments during the day, maybe with a family, maybe you'll find yourself working in the evenings or the weekends. But you know what? Mums with families often find themselves working at weekends and evenings anyway. So, it's no worse really. But you have got to be quite, what's the word? You've got to want to do it, have the passion for it, because sometimes it's hard to go to work after you've had your evening meal when all you actually want to do is sit down, watch the rubbish on the television. So you have to be very self-disciplined. That's the word I was looking for.
I mean, it's fantastic though, because you know that you have that flexibility, and it's absolutely brilliant having your own business, because you can. I mean, if you're going to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning and get to the office for about 9:30, I mean, in my case, who's going to ask me why I'm half an hour late? I just need to take myself into a corner and tell myself off, and have myself and ask myself, why are you half an hour late? Do that while having a cup of tea. But but yeah, I mean, so tell me then, Tina, like, how long have you actually had your business? When did you start?
I am coming up 5.5 years now. September 2015 I started as a travel counsellor, and it feels like I've done it forever, although my knowledge base, I'm learning all the time. There's so much, always so much more to learn, and that's really great as well, because there's never a dull moment. But yes, last year I had a milestone birthday, an age when, even just a generation ago, women would be expected to retire, and put their feet up. And I thought, no, I'm in this for the long haul. And funnily enough, we do have a travel counsellor who's 80.
Wow, really? Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah,
What I like to hear. Holidays
yeah.
never end.
That's
Well,
right. They don't. They
yeah,
don't.
yeah. And do you know what I think is so inspirational about you, Tina, is the fact that you said you had that milestone birthday. It's at the age where women are expected to retire. But you didn't, your outlook is just so much more different than a lot of other people
Mm,
at that milestone where they would think, oh, actually, that's it, I'm going to stop working. They would never think to have their own business, but it just shows that it's not just something that you can do in your early 20s, 30s, or even 40s. You can do
no.
it any time. And it's so inspirational. And you get to travel as well, and you get to see all different places, and
Yeah.
so on the back of that, then, because you've had your business for 5.5 years, what would you say were the like highs and lows of your business? um
Oh, the highs are easy. The highs are when I have created a holiday for somebody and they go on the holiday and they came back and they say, wow, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
yeah.
That that's all I need, because unlike a lot of travel agents, I don't just create the holiday and give them the tickets and say, there you are, bye, have a nice time. Um, I I'm there for them while they're away. If they have any problems, flight delays, anything like that, any problems once they're in resort, and when they get back, I'm probably one of the first people to get in touch and say, okay, how was it then? How was that holiday? Did you enjoy it? Was it everything you hoped it would be? And if the answer's not yes, I want to know why they hadn't let me know while they were away. If it was something that could have been changed.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's it. And a lot of people I now, who were clients, customers, are now friends. They're people that I keep in touch with anyway. And they're people outside of people I would ordinarily see,
Mm.
in my normal life, if you like, in my private life. And
Yeah.
so the sort of the friendships develop over time, and you end up talking about family things too. You know what I mean, just sort of
Yeah.
general things that you chat to with your friends.
Yeah.
So and that for me is lovely, really lovely.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear actually, because, and I think that's what makes you stand out from a lot of other travel agents, is the fact that anybody can book a holiday for you, but it's the fact that you are there essentially to hold people's hand, really,
Mm.
because, and I wish I had that, because I did a trip to America about 4 years ago. Absolutely lovely holiday, but there were some things in the holiday that weren't just quite right. But I felt we couldn't contact the travel agent. We did ring the travel agent, but the travel agent said, we'll deal with it when you come back. But that's not what we wanted to hear. We wanted it sorted there and then. So, you're on holiday, you want to have a good time. You don't want to have
Mm.
any issues. And I think and that's what makes you stand out, because you wouldn't get any travel. I have not heard of any travel agent saying that they will, you can contact them while you're away. They'll get things sorted, and then them phoning you afterwards when you come back to say how
Mm.
was the holiday. I mean, I would absolutely love it. I'm definitely booking through you, by the way, and I've said that before.
Good. I shall look forward to it when we can travel again.
Yeah, we can travel again.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
I had, as a particular instance, I booked a couple of trip to Vienna, to Europe, and they had ordered a double room. They booked a double room, and when they got to the hotel gave them twin beds, and they didn't want twin beds; they wanted a double bed. And so they phoned me. Now, at the time they phoned me, I was in London, just about to go and see a show. It was in the afternoon, and they were adamant that they weren't going to put up with twin beds. And I thought, well, that's fair enough, that a double is what they asked for and a double is what was on the booking.
yeah.
And I spoke to the hotel reception and they said, well, I'm sorry, we've got no doubles, we can't do it. So the couple said to me, well, can you look for another hotel for us then, please? Yep, okay. So I started the process of doing that. And about 20 minutes later, they phoned me and said, we've got our double room.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere the hotel had found them a double room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
A double room somewhere. God. So it just shows that they did have it available, but because I don't know, they save it or reserve it for whatever, and you know, if you don't say any, if you don't say, you don't get. I think is
well, exactly. And what your travel agent was saying to you was, we'll put up with it, even though it's not right, and we'll deal with it by way of the complaints process. Well,
yeah.
that tarnishes your holiday then, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. But I mean, that's what, like I say again, like that's what makes you stand out. And I would personally, like, I absolutely love traveling, Tina, as you probably already know. And every opportunity, I will just go. My bags. I have got my. I love traveling so much that my packing takes me 20 minutes. So if I'm, I've got it down to a T. I know exactly what I'm taking, how I'm gonna pack, what saves space in the suitcase. So you
Wow.
go your clothes and put them in. You can get double the stuff in there. I used to have a problem with packing my shoes, but even those I've come down to a T with those, and I know exactly what I'm taking and what I'm not. So yeah. So you know, you just want somebody there, and I think that's absolutely brilliant.
You know, I mean, if everything is going well with your holiday, don't think for, you know, that I'll be sort of there every day saying, how's it going, what have you done today? If you want to contact me, that's fine, and if you want me to contact you, I will. But you know, it's a case of whatever is best for you as an individual. So
that's brilliant. Like, absolutely brilliant. And so then from all of this then, and having a business for 5.5 years, and with the current pandemic and everything that's going on, what would you say has been the biggest lesson in your business? What's the biggest lesson that you've had, like, that you've learned from your business?
Oh, that's quite tricky. I think I've definitely learned over the last year, when I've done a lot of work, but I haven't actually been paid. I haven't earned any money, taken home anything for a year. But because of the nature of the business I've got, it's nobody's fault. That people haven't been able to travel. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. And because as travel counsellors, we do care, the right thing to do for the customer is actually to, you know, to cancel their holiday, to get a refund. So in terms of the biggest lesson is that the buck stops with me, I guess, in terms of all the holidays I book. And that's why I take the responsibility for, if they've had a good holiday, then that's partly down to me too, isn't it? Because I've given them exactly what they've wanted. So it's, the buck stops with me, so I can't offload anything onto anybody else. Because it's me and me alone.
So I guess it's like being your own boss. You have the good days and the bad days, but then you have to take the rough with the smooth as well.
Exactly.
Then
You do. And there's been a lot more rough than smooth in the last year, but hey, you know, that's life at the moment.
Exactly. And you know, and again, I think with what you're doing is that, I mean, a lot of people didn't get refunds as well. That's the other thing, when they had booked holidays. But that's again what sets you apart from everybody else, is the fact that you did that. People picked up the phone and then they said, you know, look, what's going on with our holidays? And you're like, well, you can't travel, so here's a refund. Not like, we'll give you a voucher so you can use it in 18 months time or whatever. You know, people, you know, in a kind of situation where they're not sure what's happening with their jobs, with the whole situation and what was going on or is going on, you know, they'd be more than happy to, you know, for you say, here's your refund. and then those people, I guess, will come back to you
Yeah,
to book when we can fly. Because it's about customer service, really.
yeah.
Yeah,
It is about customer service, and it's also, over the last year, it's been about, for those people that were traveling quite soon after
yeah,
we went into the first lockdown. I mean, you can only imagine the whole world was in complete chaos, wasn't it?
yeah,
And people just wanted to know that somebody was on it for them, and anybody that had booked themselves online, they were onto a sticky wicket because they couldn't get hold of people. Whereas my customers just phoned my phone and I was there.
yeah,
And if for any reason I couldn't pick up straight away, I phoned them back.
yeah.
And we collectively, as an organisation, managed to get people refunds when their holiday or their flights or their accommodation was non-refundable, because we
Wow.
just sort of used the put our big boots on, I suppose,
Yeah,
and sort of threatened not to use suppliers again. And it worked. I mean, moving forward, we've adopted a different policy to give everybody flexibility. But yeah, at the beginning, it was quite brutal. Actually, it was quite brutal. But I'm pleased to say that not one of my customers has lost a penny, not
excellent.
a penny.
That's absolutely excellent.
So
Excellent. And then these people will come back to you as well when we can start flying again. As I said myself, I'm going to be coming in, and I've got a list of places I want to go, by the way. So
good. Well, we'll get cracking as soon as you want.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Holidays that were cancelled last year, plus the holidays from this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming we'll probably be able to fly next year. So it's 3 years worth of holidays I'll be
Cramming
booking.
into a year.
I go on holiday 2-3 times a year, so that's a whole holiday.
I shall be planning one holiday while you're on the previous one. You'll be phoning me from some sun-drenched beach somewhere, like in the picture, and say, okay, now my next holiday, because I've got a short window when I get home.
Do you know, Tina? I'm actually known for that. Everybody who knows me, they know that that's what I actually do. So when I'm on holiday, I start thinking about the next holiday. So yeah, you'll probably get that call. I want to be like, Tina, right, next one.
Well, we're kindred spirits, because my feeling is always that you've got to have 3 holidays in the planning. So the next one that's coming up is in the final planning, and then there's the one following that where it's pretty much sorted, and the one after that where it might still be a bit of an idea, but when you're sort of starting to make the initial plans. So, and that's the way I've worked, and I've completely had the rug pulled from under my feet in the last year, because I know how how you feel.
Yeah,
Because all of a sudden I'm sitting here thinking, well, I can't plan a holiday at the moment. I have to wait and see when we come out of lockdown.
exactly. And I think the best way to look at it is that we can do double the holidays when we can actually fly.
Oh, I'm
So
all for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that will be awesome.
Yeah.
You'll be on a beach, Tina. I'll be like, Tina, please book my next holiday.
Yep. And I'm there. I'm there.
So tell me then about one question I do want to ask you. So being a business owner yourself, how do you get your clients in? Do you network a lot? And if so, like, what do you think of networking? And would you recommend that to people?
Oh, I would definitely recommend networking. Definitely face to face, preferably. Obviously, not at the moment, we can't do it, but yes, I always said I'm not going to do any formal networking, but very quickly started to network, and it's valuable for various reasons. It's valuable because you create your business. It's no good sitting in your office, wherever that may be, and saying, right, I'm here, who wants to buy from me? That's no good. So you get out there, you make your face known, you make new friends, you when I say, though, everybody you meet potentially is a client, and I take this to any event, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a wedding I'm going to, or whether it is a formal networking event. But I think specifically about networking is that the room is full of people like you. They're all struggling to make their voice heard above everything else, and you understand each other's problems.
Yeah.
So you make friends, you meet people that you wouldn't meet generally. It's amazing how many different jobs people do, isn't it? You sort of think, well, I never really thought about anybody doing that. But you can share your problems, and inevitably somebody's been where you are, and so they can offer some words of advice. And if they can't, they can listen, and they will.
And it's nice just to kind of get out of, because when you're self-employed, I mean, I always find that, I mean, if you're employed somewhere, you have your team meetings, you have your office banter, as you say, you go make cups of tea and coffee. But when you're working on your own, you can't really be doing that, because, I mean, you can do all of that, but you're going to be doing it yourself, and with one person. So it's kind of, it's as though you're putting yourself out in that environment where you have, say, a team, you're having a meeting as such, but we're just people, and as you said, some people turn out to be great friends as well, and that can give you, great advice and be your biggest supporter.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to need, as a business owner, you're going to need the service of some of these people, possibly. You have accountants and virtual assistants, all that sort of thing. It's all, they're good people to know. And there's this saying, and you hear it all the time when you have your own business, there's the know you, like you, trust you, isn't there? And you those sorts of networking opportunities give people the chance to find out about you as a person, you in terms of the job you do, and to form those trust, where they'll come to you and say, I'm going to trust you with a lot of my money because I'd like to book a holiday, please, or I'd like to book my wedding abroad or something. So it's very valuable. I mean, I think in the last year, my business was going from strength to strength. I'd had the best year ever previous to going into lockdown, and of course everything's taken a complete nosedive. And I was networking a couple of times a week, but the minute we went into lockdown, I stopped networking because it all went online. And I actually, at this point in time, I'm not sure if I will go back to networking, because my business was getting to the stage where I was getting lots of referrals. So people were coming to me, oh, so and so's given me your details. But in terms of getting to know people, when we come out of this and we can actually see people, if you'd like me to organise a holiday, the first thing I'm going to say to you is, okay, where shall we meet up? Which coffee shop shall we meet up in? Let's have a coffee, and we'll chat through what you want in your holiday, but also who you are as a person, get to know you, so that in the future I can maybe make recommendations to you. Not that it sounds like you need recommendations, you're like me, you've got the never-ending list, but
any recommendation is welcome where it comes to holidays, I can tell you that right now. So recommend away, Tina. No, but I think that's a really good way to do it, because you're very personable and it's very intimate kind of thing as well. And especially if someone is booking a very kind of like exotic holiday which they've been thinking about doing for a while, like, I don't know, say safari in South Africa, or traveling the world and doing kind of like different countries at the same time, you want somebody like you who's able to kind of give that personal feel and personal attention, and especially with that and things like that, you want it to be on point and perfect when booking. So absolutely.
And what I can do is I can link it all together. So if it is somebody going around the world, and I did have 3 people went the year before last, and it all hooked up on the rugby in Japan.
Oh,
And so they travelled to Japan, but they actually went completely around the world in 3 months, and they spent 2 or 3 weeks in Japan as well.
wow.
And I linked it up for them and gave them the financial protection so that if anything happened en route, that their money would be protected.
Yeah,
Or if, if anything happened to any of the airlines or anything like that,
yeah,
that they would be protected. So just the reassurance that everything was fine. And when it comes to safaris and that sort of thing, I just love Africa, and I've been on safari in South Africa. I've been on safari in Tanzania. I've seen gorillas in Uganda, and that's an area that I absolutely love.
wow.
Um, and people are now, they're reaching out for more experiential holidays. There was a time when I was that 14-year-old girl and went on a school cruise. If you were lucky and rich, you went to Mallorca for a
Yeah,
holiday, and Mallorca is still really, really popular, and people love going there. But as time moves on, people want more experiential holidays. They want to go up to Iceland and hopefully see the Northern Lights. They want to stay in glass igloos, to go in reindeer drawn sleighs, and they want to meet elephants in Thailand and see tigers in India. And it tends to be a bit animal centric with me, but to have these experiences
mm,
that, well, we wouldn't have even dreamt about years ago. And that is where I can absolutely pull it together for people.
absolutely love that. Absolutely love it because I mean, I was actually booked to go Thailand last year in May time, but again that got cancelled. I mean, um, as a lot of people know that I do martial arts, so I do Thai boxing, and one of my
Ah,
ultimate dream is to go and train in the country that actually Thai boxing originated from. So it originates from Thailand. So I had planned that I was going to go over there, and I found a place where you can actually do Thai boxing on the beach. And that I mean, so something like that. If something like that could be arranged, like if I was booking a holiday with you, I would say, "Oh, Tina, I've got this idea. I really want to do this," and it would just be amazing, to do
mm,
that. It's
mm,
just kind of like one of those things that nobody would probably ever think of doing it unless they're actually into that kind of thing of the Thai boxing. But
mm,
that's one of the things that I would love to do. So it's nice to know that somebody can kind of arrange that and take
mm-hmm.
that off you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it took me ages to find that place and anybody that actually did it. So
Mm,
yeah, so it's just amazing. And like you said, with the safari and the animals and all
mm,
of that, yeah,
mm,
absolutely
yeah.
love it.
No, and that's precisely the sort of thing we can do.
Yeah.
Some people, they know they want to visit somewhere, but they
Mm.
don't actually know what they want to do when they get there. So
Yeah.
when I went to Vietnam, I did I did some research, but I did end up using a company that we use, and I did, I suppose, what people would call the sort of the beginners Vietnam, and did the highlights,
Yeah.
and that's great. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what they want. They want the suggestions again. Oh, how about doing this? There are people like you that come to me that have got a very specific requirement,
Yeah.
and we'll certainly do our best to fulfill that.
Yeah.
But as we're sitting here, I'm thinking of the companies that I could, oh, I know, I could contact them, or they could contact them, because that's the sort of thing that they could source for me. So yeah, and I did have in fact, I've got a family that are now going to Cuba in June 22. They were due to go last July, and we've rearranged it from July to April this year, and that's been cancelled again. And she came to me with quite a specific brief, and we've absolutely nailed it for her.
Excellent.
So
Excellent. And
yeah,
yeah.
that's great. So it's meant to be her 50th birthday, but I think she's going to be about 54 when she gets there. But you know what?
As long as you get there, that's the main thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she's still in her 50s, so it's all right. So it's still
fine
for her 50th, right? I mean, that's I mean, for my 40th, I was supposed to be going to New York and meeting with friends over there and going over to Canada, spend Christmas and New Year. That didn't happen. But I'm 40 for a whole year, so
absolutely, yeah.
You never know.
And even if you're not, you can say you're 40 when you go. You know, what does it matter? Age is only a number.
Exactly. I love that saying, Tina. It is just a number.
It is.
So, I mean, as I say, you're absolutely fantastic, Tina. I love what you do, and I love how you've done it at the time that you've done it in your life, because it shows people, as I say, business can be done at any time. It's not just for the 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds, we can do it anytime. And you can live that life that you want, the life, the balance of the family life and the work-life balance. So in your years of doing your business, what would you say are your kind of like three top tips that you would give to anyone who's listening to this? Just in business or in life in general, what would be your top 3 tips?
Probably number 1 is perseverance. You just got to keep going. And if it doesn't work one way, try it another way round. Stay positive. It's easier said than done sometimes, but that's when I think there's a value in networking. And if somebody's thinking of setting up a business, my suggestion would be to have a bit of money behind you to see you through the lean times, because there will be lean times, certainly at the beginning. And if your business takes off straight away, brilliant. That's money for a holiday or 2, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but if you really want to do it, persevere. There's more than one way to kill a cat, as they say. And that's where I believe that networking can really be of value to people. Yeah,
that's brilliant tips there, Tina. And anyone listening to this it'll probably resonate with them as well. And it's absolutely brilliant. So just to kind of finish off then, I'm going to ask you a question, Tina.
I know what this question is.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. If you were a superhero, which superhero would you be and why?
Super travel woman.
Ooh.
Yes. And I would be super travel woman because at the touch of a button, I can transport you anywhere in the world you want to go.
Wow, love that superhero.
So do I. And I only wish I could transport you at the touch of a button, but definitely at the touch of a button, I can make it happen for you.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love it. You should use that as your tagline.
Our tagline is, with us, it's personal.
Oh.
And it is.
And it is. It really is. It does live up to your tagline. It's really, really good.
Yeah, we do. And that's been borne out in the last year too.
Oh, wow. It is, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Tina, aka Super Travel Woman.
You are welcome.
You're my new superhero.
Oh, till the next one.
Forever, Tina, forever. I love traveling, So. I'm gonna save you your number now, as I'm gonna change it from Tina to Super Travel Woman.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Good. I'd be very happy for you to pass my number on to anybody. If I pick up the phone and they say, "Is that Super Travel Woman?" I'll know where it's come from.
You should pick up the phone, Tina, and you should say, "Super Travel Woman, how can I help you?" Transporting by touch of a button.
Phone slammed down on me because they'll think I'm a raving lunatic.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, Tina. It's been such a pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much for letting me interview you as well. And
You're welcome.
hopefully, fingers crossed, we can start traveling soon. And
Yes.
it'll be absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.